Alright, here we go. A to Zeta here with Game 3 of this best of 3 series between the red Terran spawning over here on the right. His name is mouzThorZaIN, and his opponent in the series has been the purple Zerg over here on the left. His name is CNMoMaN. These two players were able to split the previous two games, taking one game each, obviously, to force this third and deciding game. I will shortly be spoiling exactly what happens in either of those first two games, so if you don't want to know what happens, please stop this video right now and go watch them if you haven't already. At any rate, in the first game, we did see MoMaN take the game down with a quick attack that was very effective and crippled ThorZaIN's economy. ThorZaIN just was not able to recover from that attack and did end up losing the game pretty quickly, pretty easily to his opponent. But game number 2 was a much longer and much more epic affair between these two players, as ThorZaIN was able to ride a combination of super sexy medevac and Thor play to finally be able to overwhelm his Zerg opponent in the end. And let me just tease that game if you haven't already seen it by letting you know that both players lost their natural and main bases. They were actually wiped off the face of the map, but still had 3 or 4 other bases behind it. And in fact, both players expanded to the natural spawn location that they didn't already spawn at. Very exciting game to cast, very exciting game to watch, I hope. And if you have not already seen it, please go do that. I highly recommend it, so go watch it as soon as possible. But anyway, back to this third and deciding game. It will be played on the Shattered Temple. And of course, whoever wins this game will win the series, will take down the game series and move on to the next round of the International Cyber Cup. We do see this drone for our Zerg player going to be moving out and probably going to be setting up a hatchery, because we've seen that in both of the previous games. As yes, he will be doing that. So that makes all 3 games. The Zerg player decides to go with an early hatchery right around 15 or 16. He's very fond of that build, it seems. And ThorZaIN has actually seen that already in both of the previous games, so we might be expecting a very similar build this time. This SCV will be going out to scout and get verification that indeed our Zerg player has expanded early once again in the third and final game. He's going to be passing a drone, saying hi, exchanging pleasantries before their armies decide to start killing one another. This drone is super sad that it can't poke its head into the Terran player's base and scout, because of course there is a tight wall in with supply depots and a barracks, and that drone is going to be even more sad now because this Marine has spawned and is shooting it in the face and in the back. But good news for the drone, he is able to scoot on out of there, because drones of course do move a little bit faster than Marines do. In the previous game, we saw ThorZaIN actually decide to go with a 2 racks bunker push when he saw the hatchery going up for his Zerg opponent, so we'll see if he decides to do something similar in this game. This SCV patrolling around will be dropping a factory, it looks like. So nope, not the same build as last game. He will be going that Destiny Cloud Fist build, where you go 1-1-1, 1 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport. This factory just now starting to get underway, is about a 1/4 of the way to completion, so we will see that up shortly for our Terran player. This barracks is moving to the side so we can set up a reactor, getting that online so we can churn out Marines twice as fast. Back at the Zerg player's base, we do see this bunker was starting to get set up, but the SCV making that was forced to run away, as the Zerg player was able to repel that early game assault, and it does look like it was cancelled. I don't think he allowed that to be destroyed. This 1 SCV and 2 Marines going to be trekking on back home, content with what they have done and telling their comrades just what they saw, which is an early hatchery, and it is vulnerable to some early game harass. We'll see if ThorZaIN decides to go that route with Hellion play. Nope, it looks like he's going to be putting up that starport right away, foregoing anything coming out of his factory for now. Probably just going to be getting an add-on. I'm assuming a tech lab to time that with when this starport gets finished constructed, so we can just swap those buildings right out, and that starport will have access to the tech lab immediately and churn out some Banshees. Pretty nice play from my Terran player, if I do say so myself. This starport is about a little over halfway done, and there he goes. The tech lab pop's going to be timing that perfectly, so got that right down to the T, does ThorZaIN. As we see, this tech lab is about halfway done, while the starport is getting close to done as well. And just watch this timing right here. Perfectly done. Right there getting to completion. Also this one getting to completion. This starport is going to lift off as it gets done, and the factory also lifting off. Such great play right there, just putting on a clinic of how to time your buildings and knowing just what those timings are. That first Banshee is on the way, and it does look like there was some lag, and the players chatting about, looks like MoMaN's personal life for a little bit, and indeed, MoMaN's real name is Emmanuel Marquez, so you can see the French and Spanish influences on that name. He is both French and Spanish, but he's living in Spain at the moment. and they were just chatting about that while they were waiting for the lag to subside, but it does look like it was fixed, and the players are back into the flow of the game. This Banshee is about 2/3 of the way to popping, and it is rallied up to go down here. It will probably skirt around the outskirts of the map to try to avoid being seen for as long as possible and maximize the surprise factor so it can do as much damage as possible when it does decide to reveal itself and start attacking drones. That Banshee just now arriving, and she is super excited about that. Going to be flying down to the other side of the map, it looks like, going to be rallied up down here, and then queued to go across the map, just in this area over here. Looking at the Zerg player's base, he does look like he's not very prepared for a Banshee attack. Of course, he does not have any verification that is coming. He doesn't know the Banshee's on the way. We see no Spore Crawlers right here. We do see a Queen stationed, as per the usual. 2 Queens, rather, so he is pretty prepared for a Banshee attack. They won't be able to do too much before those Queens are able to repel it with their spines. This natural getting up and running, just nicely saturated at the moment. This Banshee is going to be going across the map and will shortly have reached the creep of the Zerg player. Going to be flying up there, and it looks like getting a couple of drones. There we go. That first ring does go down as it's getting hit by Queen, and it does attack again. Apparently there was some more lag, some awful timing right there, right as the Banshee arrived. It did get 2 worker kills before the Queens were able to shoo it away with their spines. It looks like ThorZaIN is up to 5 workers killed now, so very nice play for him right there. To a 0 from our Zerg player, who's gone a very passive build in the early game. We have the Terran player actually expanding behind this Banshee pressure, going to be dropping this orbital at his natural shortly. He has 1 tank right here, along with a group of Marines, so he's maybe mustering up some forces for a timing push, getting tanks out of that factory, along with more Marines out of his barracks. He is swapping the starport out of the tech lab so he can allow that barracks to use it to research Stimpack. It is just now getting underway. It looks like it's about a 1/4 of the way to completion. This factory continues to churn out siege tanks. Does he have siege tech mode researched? He does, so he is going to have that available to him once he pushes out, which it looks like he is deciding just when the perfect time to push is. This Banshee has come back to the home base for SCVs to repair. Both these SCVs crushing on this Banshee pilot because, of course, Banshee pilots are the most attractive women in the Terran player's army. I apologize to medevac pilots. I'm sure they're very pretty as well, but they're just no competition for Banshee pilots. It's unfortunate for them, but it is the truth, the sad truth. We have this Banshee going across the map. It is going to, it looks like, take out that Zergling at the watchtower. So up to 5 kills is this Banshee, already promoted to Corporal. Well done on her part, but it's going to be flying into 2 Queens. So sad about that. Already down, back below half health after being repaired by those SCVs. Going to be just flying around the outskirts of the map, getting another Zergling kill, it looks like. So up to 6 kills is this Banshee. Meanwhile, the Terran army has moved to the center of the map, so it looks like our Terran player ThorZaIN is deciding to push out, going to be timing this nicely with when his Stimpack research gets finished. So ThorZaIN does have this planned out to the T. His army moving out and just taking out some creep tumors, going to be preventing that creep spread from getting out of control. He is arriving at the front door of the Zerg player. This Spine Crawler trying to burrow, but Spine Crawlers take so long, I don't even think the Spine Crawler will be able to finish before it's taken out. We'll just keep an eye on that, and tanks do take it out with those blasts before it can get those tentacles into the ground. These Zerglings all losing their lives in a nice little line of blood. Queens trying to do everything they can, but this Queen will shortly die. And it looks like our Zerg player is in a lot of trouble, just not prepared enough for this timing push by ThorZaIN. Very nice timing push by ThorZaIN, rather. We have more units on the way for our Zerg player, but will it be enough as his armor character's level 1 might not even get finished in time. Drones are pulled off the line as meters are flocking overhead, but those Marines are doing excellent damage to everything in their sight, while tanks are just raining down bombs from the back. Those drones all get taken out. Zerglings need a nice round on this one tank, but those Zerglings will lose their lives as well. This Queen is also going to die in a splurt of blood. So much blood for the Zerg player right now, and it does look like MoMaN will be forced to GG out of this game. Being very mannered, love to see that. Being so honest, saying GG, nice timing push, and indeed that was a great timing push by our Terran player ThorZaIN, able to secure this game, able to secure this series. So very well played by ThorZaIN, a very fun series to watch. It's actually my first series that I've casted. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will go on to cast more games today because it's another StarCraft day for me. Super awesome, super excited about that, and I will see you guys next time.